Let me follow up on that rather unusual introduction. This is really not going to be a porch talk as much as it's going to be an information session. Specifically, I wanted to talk a little bit about the finances. Some rather alarming developments have happened over the last couple of months, and I wanted to, in the sake of full transparency, I wanted to alert the people of St. Monica on what is happening. If you look at this chart, especially the top part, you see that through December, the finances of the parish look pretty good. Our Christmas collection was more than we had anticipated. We were ahead of budget for both December in terms of income, and our year-to-date numbers also were a little bit ahead of what we had budgeted. If you look below in January and February, all of a sudden something happened that was rather dramatic and rather troubling. January and February alone, we were off by $30,000. The electronic giving, which is buried in there, has been holding it about the same. But the envelopes, cash, checks, etc., were $30,000 less than we had anticipated. If you also look at the year-to-date, that's almost $400,000 of income that suddenly has been missing, and we're not quite sure why the dramatic downturn. Concerning expenses, the expenses also were so much in line, but what has happened over the last couple of months is that a lot of items, fairly major items, have just simply been breaking down. We had to replace some controlling units in the air conditioner. We had to do the same thing for some heaters in the school. And also we have been making some investments that we think are going to pay off later. For example, Pico has given an offer to provide institutions with free LED lighting. So we have decided to follow through on that, but you still have to make the investment to pay the people to put the lighting in. The same thing is we have 3 oil burners. One of them is in the old school, 2 of them are in the new school, and for the last several months we've been talking with vendors about switching those over to natural gas, and that's what we did over the last 2 months. And as a result, there was some unusual expenses to basically move something over to an energy source that is going to be less expensive in the years ahead. Nevertheless, when you look at both of those particular figures, it presents a financial figure that is somewhat alarming, and for that reason, I wanted to talk to you about that today. St. Monica has always been incredibly generous, especially to people in need. We raised $35,000 for Legacy of Life. We've been down in Kensington providing them with gift cards and casseroles, and we've gone there with some swinging some hammers and providing real boots on the ground to repair the house down there. We've done the same thing with the Giving Tree, the Thanksgiving drive. I mean, just really remarkable. When people are in need, St. Monica really steps up and is just incredibly generous. That is something that is good and true and beautiful. A little Catholic theological point, and that is that Catholic Church is never either or. It is always both and. And this is our spiritual home. And it is good to be able to provide for those in need. It's also important to remember the house, and that this is your spiritual home, and that we need the resources here to be able to feed the people and continue the mission. So consider that just as a kind of a theological reflection point. I've provided some additional information, not only about the income statements, but I have a couple of videos. There's a link here that cover the balance sheet. And we're also going to provide some information about some ideas, some questions that the parishioners have brought up. And also we're going to outline a little bit about what are some of the solutions that we're going to implement over the next couple of weeks to maybe be able to address the financial situation here. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you that all you provide. And I wish you God's blessings in the weeks ahead.